And I think that's why we're saying let's have a do-over. So I look forward to having a do-over, head-to-head, mano-a-mano, with Mark Schauer, record versus record. His 2 years in Congress versus my 2 years in Congress. His 12 or 14 years in the state legislature versus my 16 years in the state legislature. As a consistent conservative, as a consistent liberal. Nice guy. Hail fellow, well met. That's why he pulled votes out of a district that generally wouldn't vote for a liberal like him. But now he can't hide behind it. Because he's gone with Nancy Pelosi even when he didn't have to. He didn't have to vote for cap and trade. The votes were there. He could have taken a walk, as we say, and voted the other way and said to his constituents, I stood with you. He didn't. He could have taken a walk on even the health care bill. He didn't. He voted for a takeover of health care that will ultimately result in rationing and an inferior health care system from what we have now, as opposed to taking a reform approach that most of you, I think, would agree with, a bill that I introduced when I was in Congress that said let's ratchet up the opportunities, the variety, the competition in health care. Let's deal with some of the problems in the system to enhance the quality of care that we already have in the United States. And so my bill offered things like association health plans, so small businesses could join together in economy of scale, have larger groups so they could purchase health care for their employees at a reduced cost, like the big three do. Why don't we do that? Well, Mark Schauer did not support that. I offered an expansion of health savings accounts in my bill, so that it's your money you can use for your medical needs, including purchasing better health care coverage if you so desire. Why not? It's your money. Spend it for health and medical purposes. I offered the opportunity to purchase health care across state lines in my bill. Expands the competition, expands the variety. The blues in Michigan and the blues in North Carolina, for instance, they're different cost structures. What about making them compete? So we offered that. Then in my bill had a significant tort reform to deal with frivolous lawsuits. Put a cap on non-economic damages like we did here in Michigan when I was in the legislature, and co-sponsored a bill to do just that. And it's worked here in Michigan. And then finally, my bill gave the same tax break and incentive to private citizens that we give to businesses right now. So that individual purchasing health care or a household purchasing health care is given a pat on the back and an attaboy, attagirl for doing the responsible thing and gets the tax benefits for doing that, as opposed to saying, well, you're not a business, so we're not going to give you the tax benefit. I think that's an incentive that even says to the youngest amongst us who, like my youngest son, or like I was when I was his age, I'm invincible. I'm not going to get sick. I want that new carburetor, or that new burst shifter. Oh, I'm dating myself right now, aren't I? Now it's sound system, or something like that. Well, this would take away the disincentive for that person to say, at the very least, get a comprehensive plan to cover the most serious issues and take the tax benefit that the government will say to you, thank you for doing it. So that was the approach I took. Mark Schauer said, no, we're going to have the government take over, tell you what to do. I talked to a business owner here, whose name I'll leave nameless right now. You would know him, most likely. He's been here for years in Charlotte. Has had a successful small business. He's had to lay off almost every one of his employees in the last year, including his secretary. He's doing the secretarial work right now. He told me today, he says, I'm looking right now at all of the ramifications of the health care bill, but I believe I'm going to have to do away with supplying health care to those employees who need it right now and don't have a spouse that has health care. I want to keep supplying it, but I cannot afford it. And I'm going to take the penalty instead. And you could hear his heart being wrenched to do that to his employees. And that's what's being forced as a result, even before the thing is fully implemented in our business community and our individuals. So complete opposite. On cap and trade, I authored legislation when I was in Congress that was known as the all-of-love energy plan. It said, let's give incentive for all of it. If it's biofuels, if it's wind, if it's solar, if it's hydrogen, let's give it reasonable incentives. Now let's have a cutoff date. Let's make sure that we're not just dragging it on and on. It's got to work. But let's not forget about that energy sources that we have that run our economy, including gas, natural gas and petroleum-based fuels, that we literally have hundreds of years of resources. Now, I like to ask the question of the liberals now. What are you saving it for? Who are you saving it for? And when will you let them use it?